YouTube, Damo_23 here, and welcome back to the 1860 Munich save, where it's the fountain of youth as we look to continue this wonderful challenge. If you have been enjoying the content, go give it a like, subscribe to the YouTube channel. Lets me know that this new way of the content coming out here on YouTube is working. And of course, if you want to watch all the gameplay live, links are down below to come follow us live on Twitch. In today's episode, we are going to recap the run of games from our last time we met off and all the games up until December. We will obviously recap the 4-2-4 tactic that we ended up choosing. Is it the right decision? Are the fixtures going well enough? Are we going to stay up? All those questions will probably be answered in today's episode. We'll also have a look at some of the 18, 17-year-olds that were looking to maybe poach from other teams around in Germany to become homegrown at our club next season. And how does that work out with all the budgets that we have? Lastly but not least, you'll notice that I'm baby-faced. It is the 1st of December, November is over, so it's time to get used to me back to being with a little bit of stubble or no, facial hair at all. If you are enjoying the content, like I said just before, please give it a like and let's get into post-com demo and let's go run through some fixtures and see how we've done. Post-com demo, and let's go and run through what's been going on. So since we last met, we've come from 16th up to 9th. We still have a negative goal difference of -1, and we're on 26 points, which holds us in good stead to obviously stay in the league, which is fantastic. We are, as you can see, 12 points clear of 17th, which is Victoria Cologne, and we are, 12 points outside the relegation zone, which is absolutely magical. If we can go by the, actually, we should probably highlight that our record is 8-2-7, so we are ahead of our record, which is fantastic. But if we go to the rules, you'll notice that Bundesliga's promotion is first and second, and then third play against Bundesliga's like second to last or third to last playoff. Can I just say the money in Bundesliga 2 is 15 mil down to 6 mil, and here we don't seem to get too much money. I'm not too sure why that is, but look, I don't mind. I don't mind at all. For me, it's all about making sure we don't finish above, we finish above, 17th. Because obviously getting relegated would end the save. And at the minute, from what we've seen, it looks very possible that we can. We still are losing the occasional game, and we still are getting dominated in the occasional game. But something that has made this save so enjoyable on the stream, and something that the stream seems to be loving, is the fact that because we know how much of a grind it's going to be, that sweating off every point is absolutely amazing. Getting deep in the 90th minute of games, it's now starting to be like, well, a draw's good here, so hold on for dear life, boys. Can we pinch one late? We've had some losses, and none more so than Halle, which is the first game after the last game I recap, which was a victory against a team I can't remember. But as you can see, we conceded 91st minute. We did deserve to lose this game, though. 33 shots, 14 on target, 5 shots, 4. And that's sometimes what can happen here in this 4-2-4. It's a very good 4-2-4. It's a good defensively minded 4-2-4, but it allows us to be really aggressive, really attacking. But against sides that are just better than us on paper, then, yeah. We do get questions occasionally about, well, what's the level of your players up against the level of everyone else? Just have a look through the team of the year, according to the pundits. You have a look at, like, the quality of, there's the goalkeeper, there's a centre-back. He's not too bad. I think Bierman's better. Yeah, he is. I remember looking at him. He's fantastic for this level. Like, Hoger's a midfielder, very well-rounded. Ritter plays in the hole, and, what a pretty good technical footballer at this level, and that's your best striker on loan from Werder Bremen. He's actually just a bit meh, but guys that are very, very, very good. That's a Koskovian winger. In Okpu we just played, and he's fantastically quick. So you've got players like that in this division, and you look at our team, and our best player is Bir Kunde, who's okay, but I'm thinking my best player here is if I go to Wagner, wherever he is, and his finishing's up to 11, which is fantastic, good growth. But yeah, you can see the noticeable difference in quality of play between us and the rest of the league. So that's why when I often talk about us just making sure to stay up, that is why. There's no illusion that I'm thinking about trying to finish top 3 this season. If we do somehow do that, then we've been very, very lucky. And I know I'm known for a couple back-to-back promotions and saves. This isn't the save. We'll talk about what I think is going to happen in this save right at the end of this episode. So, obviously, we played Empennen, which you would have seen last episode, and then we lost to Halle 3-2. Actually, you wouldn't have seen that. That was on stream, but, the Brunswick game. Apologies, YouTube. You probably shouted at me at the screen, going, Damien, don't forget. We're 3-0 up, and then decided to make my life nervy as anything. Concede 90 and 91st minute, which was okay as well. And then these are the games that actually are very important for me. So I can't pronounce this team, so send help. Zwikaku. That's what we're going with. Zwikaku. That's probably hard. Even game, they probably were slightly better. Definitely a game that you're happy to take a point in because they were 4th in the league at the time. And most importantly, they had a highlight in the 93rd minute and they missed, which was fantastic. If you want to watch that sort of action, live on the Twitch, link down below. We're actually going live. It is the first. I have a day off. We're actually going live. Very handy UK time, like prime time UK time, very soon. We then did win a game in the normal time. I saw the 94th minute. I was like, hang on, this is not the game. We haven't won one late. We've lost a couple late. But yet again, we looked pretty good. We're 1-0 down and then a couple minutes of madness and we scored a couple. And yet again, these are the sort of games that make it special for us. You know, judging by the stats, have we really deserved to win here? Probably not. Probably deserved to be a draw. And if we lost the game, we can't complain because the opposition had more chances and similar possession. We edged possession. But a couple of moments and bang, we're straight back in it. As you can see, Wagner yet again in the goals. Troychek doing well. And, you know, Big Kunde finally chipped in with a goal himself. He's not been very good, even though he's one of those, you know, rule-breaking players that, you know, we didn't want to use. We then unfortunately copped injuries. So we will click on Wagner in a second, but he copped a 4-week injury. There was actually an international break in the third Liga. We skipped the first one in the start of September. Then we had one after this game, which kind of helped me with Wagner. And then young Close, who's an under-19 striker at 16 years of age, came in. And he's got 2 goals in 5 games. He did his business, and now he's been coming off the bench. And that's kind of killed him. As you can see here, though, against 19th, much the better side. Yeah, they made it nervy at 2-1. Made it 3-1 with Lorenz, who has been scoring a few goals left, right, and centre as well. I just click on Lorenz. He has got 4. Shows you that we rely heavily on Wagner to score. But we looked fantastic, and there we are. We then also lost to Mayhem. We drew to 16th place at Saarbrücken before beating 20th place SC Freiburg's second team 1-0 in a game that was very even. They deserved to probably have not drawn or have won, and they were bottom. But they had a side that, you know, not too bad. You know, this guy here, the Latvian, is very good for the level. You know, but defensively starting to come together, which was fantastic. We then obviously beat VFL, who were 3rd at the time. I don't know where they are now. And VFL are 7th after losing the game, as you can see, from like 7th to 3rd is like 3 points. We did win at 2-0. We're going to watch the goals in this game here, mainly because we had a 16-year-old and M. Ora Tagbas get his first goal, the American. And I think he has a little bit of potential. We're going to highlight him in a second. But both these goals are like very similar. And I just want to highlight the subtle change in the 4-2-4. As you can see, teams sometimes sit a bit deeper with us. And we have no qualms in just turning and just popping balls into the channel and over the top. And I don't think we're working at higher divisions because keepers will sweep it and better centre-backs will deal with it. But being that slightly more pass into space allows us to just put balls in and around the penalty spot. And if keepers don't come and dominate, our strikers are good enough to get there. As you can see, Wagner scored. And Tagba, who is a 16-year-old kid who I think could become a very good poacher with 18 determination, could definitely become something. And definitely one to keep an eye on, even though he's only 1.5 star. Was on the bench due to some injury trouble. We then lost to Duisburg 1-0. It was a game where it was okay, but not great. You know, they went down to 10 men. It was one of those games that, you know, those games where we've drawn or won where we've been slightly the worst team. This one here was slightly the better team. They didn't do much. They put 1 shot on target and went in. It was one of those. We have no complaints because they are better than us on paper, but yeah, yet again. Then in our last game on stream last night, we did beat 18 for 70 play at Hazardel. Couple goals early, they scored 1, and then the game petered into nothingness. We should have won this game by 3 or 4, but you know, 2-1's a win and is a win. And points are just massive here at the minute. So those are the recap of the games. The system still remains the same. I have moved to an advanced playmaker in the games we're meant to win. So anyone in the bottom half of the table, I'll play an advanced playmaker because Witch is very good in that role. We have a look at him as an advanced playmaker. Very good for this level. And then in the games that we're meant to be a bit more defensive, we go and look at Street. Players that I'm absolutely in love with are, of course, Wagner. If you look at him here, he has had some injuries, but 10 goals in 13. Even though his form may not be the greatest in terms of average rating. But if we look at his history and injuries, did miss with a groin strain for 4 weeks. Same with Gabriel, who's been coming back to injury and will probably get back into the first team and go back. Also picked up a twisted ankle for 4 weeks, which made us a little unsettled, but the fact we picked up results is fantastic. The system is the same. It's a short passing system, playing out from the defence, work the ball into the box. I do sometimes click pass into space in-game to encourage us to go that bit more direct, but because of the extremely high tempo, it does allow the team to naturally go that bit more direct anyway, whilst trying to remain a bit shorter. We do roll it out into space and all that sort of stuff, just to encourage us to keep the ball. I've just tried not to overcomplicate it too much. I think the players are in a really good spot, but I want to highlight players like Milos Chojcek. I want to highlight players like Perfenning, who's, oh my God, like, Perfenning's probably slightly different. We'll talk about Perfenning in a second. I want to highlight players like probably, Lorenz. These sort of guys that are our own players that are free start aren't of the level of the league, but they have potential. I think what's going to happen here is this season's about staying up and hits the loans. I think from season 2 and beyond, we're going to look to more our own cattle, whilst loaning in a few of the guys we've already loaned in. Reason why is, if you think about it logically, we spoke about it on stream last night, I'm going to speak about it here, is we're not going to be good enough to get promoted from the third Bundesliga to the Liga 3 for a while, because these guys need to grow into their potential, especially Chojcek, right? If he grows into his potential, what a winger. We have one of the best wingers in the league. Once these guys turn 21, 22, and they start actually hitting this third Liga potential, we're going to have a team good enough at this level to win the league, or come second, or go into the third spot playoff. So my theory is that we're going to spend a lot of time in the third Liga. Now, when I mean a lot of time, some people might be thinking 5, 10 years. Some people are thinking, well, Damien, you usually get promoted straight away, so what, 2 years? I'm thinking in between 3 or 4 years. Give these 18-year-olds a chance to turn 20, 21, get me a few intakes where we hopefully get a few decent kids in and start developing them too. And we start building a core of players that have played together for a while, and I feel like then, we'll get out of this league. What I think then will happen is it will snowball into the fact that a few of those players may have potential for Bundesliga 2, a few of them will only be good third Liga players, but because they play together should keep me up in the second Bundesliga, and then that cycle's going to start again where we consolidate in the second Bundesliga whilst getting into youth intake, whilst trying to poach people that have second Bundesliga or Bundesliga potential, because you can always snab a couple of Bundesliga potential players, and then wait for them to get to the age of 20, 21, develop, and then we go up again. This save's going to be a bit of a grind and a different sort of grind. It's going to be waiting to develop these players. It's going to be getting in a core of players that you've got to put time and effort into training and making better and changing your training tactics, like what Chojcek, for instance, is working on his crossing ability and it's getting up, and then I'm probably working on his passing ability when it gets up, etc., right? And it's all about making sure these players become good enough for the level that you're at, and then you're constantly looking to scout and improve and bring in players with either the money that we have in, which we don't have too much and we have no budgets at the minute, there you go, or, from our youth intake and making sure those players grow into the best players they can be, have an environment to do that, and thus get to the level or beyond of the league you're in and get you into the Bundesliga 2, then the Bundesliga. If you agree with that theory, let me know in the comment section down below. Let me know how many years you think we're going to stay here. I think it's going to be very dependent on the first 2 years of youth intake that we get in at our club. And the fact that we have no money to poach at the minute makes it very hard for me to go through people we're going to poach. But everyone on our shortlist at the minute is, if we go by outside of that, everyone on this list is either homegrown at the club or is 18 and their contracts are expiring. And these are the sort of guys, okay, so this guy must have just turned 19 and no, these are the sort of guys that we need to get in before they turn 19. And hopefully we pick up a few of them early. If not, the idea may be to actually loan them in, like we did with Perfenning, right? And then their eligibility already starts, and then sign them on a free. That may be also the other case that we do. Last note is guys like Perfenning, guys like Wagner, guys like Nicholas Winkler, who's the right back. These are guys we're probably going to look to loan in again next season, because if they've been good enough for us, you might as well loan them back in. And then you might as well loan him the third season after that. They're still in contract, because it makes him then homegrown at the club by the end of that year. It does mean that if they do reject you on a pre-contract, the year after or in that third season, that, they've become homegrown. They don't come to you now, but maybe in a couple of years' time they get transfer listed for 20k, 50k, and you're still in the third Liga. These are guys that are going to be good enough and probably want to come to you because you're probably favoured personnel and are homegrown. So something, a little bit of a byproduct of the save to look out is these loans staying a bit longer term to make them homegrown and then pick up a little later. If you have enjoyed the episode, let me know by leaving a comment, liking, subscribing. As always, if you want to watch gameplay live, we are about to go live in about 15 minutes from after this episode, filming this episode. Give it a follow on the Twitch. You can always watch the VODs back to watch gameplay in-game, of course, as well. VODs stay up for 30 days. But from Damo and everybody here at 1860 Munich and in the Youth Challenge, next episode is going to be the recap of the Christmas period, which is only 3 games and a break, because that's what they do in Germany, which I actually do rate for the players. And we'll recap January if we made any signings, which I doubt. We'll also look through and forward to our youth intake, because I would imagine we're going to get that youth intake development screen that you usually get about what's going to come through. And important to remember that our youth intake guy is fantastic. We've got decent youth facilities here. And that's obviously going to shape how we're going to look forward to the rest of this save, is going to be dependent on the youth. From Damon and everybody else here, I'll see you next time for episode 4. If you're enjoying these recaps, please let me know. And I will be back with hopefully another good set of results, some players to more look at, and a youth intake to hopefully be very, very excited about.